So, first things first, chat. Deltarune got updated again last night, this morning at about 4:30, so about 12 hours ago. And this patch was to address an oversight that had caused people's saves to load in the wrong room. And I'm going to explain to you all in the most coherent format exactly what happened, okay? Are you guys ready for this? Because I have fucking MS Paint ready to go. I'm gonna explain the shit out of this. I hope you all are ready for this. I'm going to explain this harder than anybody's ever explained in their whole lives. So, let me get a thicker brush. Let me get a big boy. I need a bigger boy here. All right. So we got patch 1.08, which released just a few days ago, and then was promptly pulled from all, like, the Steam store and stuff like that. It was pulled from all the consoles, except people who had already updated and are stuck on 1.08. So, the reason why 1.8 was busted is, say this line is every single room in the game, in order. If you don't know how this works, every single room in the game is assigned a number, and they all come in order. So you have, you know, room 100, room 101, room 102. Now, every single one of these is assigned to a specific room. For those who don't know, they're all assigned to a specific room. So let's say, for instance, let me get an image for you guys of 2 rooms from Deltarune real quick. Okay, so let's get this room. Now, these aren't actually the correct room numbers. But let's just say, hypothetically, for the sake of the argument, you know, that this room right here, this is room 104, let's say. This isn't the actual number, I'm just using this to explain, but let's say this is room 104. So that would make this room, right here, this room would be 103, right? So this is 103. So let's say that this is room 103 and this is room 104. The problem is, and here's what's happened. This is a room that you can normally save in. You see this save point right here? This is a room that you save and load in. This room you don't save and load in. So what happened was, with 1.08, what caused the problems is that way back in the back, they added one room. It was the loading screen room, for those who don't know. So the loading screen room was added all the way in the back, and essentially what happened is that augmented every single room by 1. So when 1.08 comes out, turns out that this room is actually now room 104, and this room is now 105, because every single room got pushed up by 1. So what happens is, when it sees the save point in room 104, when you load it on 1.08, it was like, okay, load 104, except that room 104 is now this room. So your save would improperly load in this room now. So this is what happened. This was the problem. So now, flash forward. Just a little bit here. Let's zoom out here. Let's go to a different part of this. Now, 1.09 comes out just today. And they had a fix for this. They wanted to be able to maintain cross-compatibility with all versions in case somebody was stuck on this patch and had saved, so they didn't want to break any more save files. So their solution was to create a list of valid rooms. And if you try to load a valid room, it will load inside the room that it's supposed to. So let's say this room that I mentioned earlier, this room right here is considered a valid room. So it loads in this room properly. It will check it and say, okay, you're in room, you know, what did we say this was earlier? This is room 105 now. So let's say this is room 105. It's not actually the number, chat. I'm just using this as an example, but it's marked as a valid room, so it loads properly in this room. And then every other room, what happens is that now any room that isn't considered by the game to be a valid room which is a list that they hand created, by the way. So like this room, for instance, is an invalid room. So what happens is that if you load into any invalid room, the game adds one room. It says, okay, you're in an invalid room, add one room to this load, and theoretically, this makes it so that if your save file was broken and you were loading in this room, it would +1 it, and you would actually load here, like you're supposed to. So, that sounds like a great idea, and it is a clever idea on paper. The problem is that they did this backwards. What they should have done was make only these rooms that would have been affected be in the list. But instead, they decided to go the route of making every single valid room have to be in the list, and every other room in the game +1s you. The problem with this is if they happen to miss any rooms that you can load into, all sorts of shit happens. So, what rooms did they miss? You might ask. Streamer, did they miss any important rooms, Mr. Man? Did they? Well, as it turns out, yes, they missed quite a few rooms, and most of them have to do with death checkpoints. So, this room... let me get an image up. I did take an image earlier. So, you might recognize this room. The dreaded Teacup Room. This room has an auto checkpoint. So, if you die in this room after flipping the switch, you will respawn in this room. It respawns you in this room. Isn't that nice and convenient, guys? You know, it respawns you in the room. The problem is that this room is not on the list of valid rooms. So it's not a valid room. And so the issue here is that because the game sees that it's not a valid room, when it attempts to reload you, it will add one room. And where does that take you? Where does just 1 + 1 room take you? Why, here, of course. To this room. The problem is that if you die in the teacups, the laser won't be gone. You're soft locked. Congratulations. So this is all over the place in this patch because there are tons of rooms which you can load into which are not on the list of valid rooms. So the solution that they went for was to have a list of valid rooms and then any invalid rooms would +1 you. Here's what they should have done. They should have made a list of, excuse me, don't mind that. They should have made a list of rooms, improper rooms, such as, here we go. So this room, what they should have done is instead of making all of the save point rooms the valid rooms, they should have made a list of invalid rooms. So this is an invalid room right here, because obviously you wouldn't normally load into this room. There's no save point in this room. So what they should have done is had a list of invalid rooms, and if you loaded into any of those specifically, it would +1 you, and you would end up in the proper room, which, again, is this room right here. So that's what they should have done, but what they opted to do was this, where only the valid rooms won't +1 you, and every other room in the entire game, if you try to load into it, will +1 you. So if they happen to make a oversight, such as missing something like this, the game breaks. And this happens in multiple places. So right here, if you die to the teacups, you'll get loaded into this room, you'll be stuck behind the lasers. If you die to rules card, you'll be soft locked. If you choose to die, if you die to Giga Queen, it skips Giga Queen. And there are even rooms in the game which are named rooms with save points in them that aren't in this list due to an oversight, such as a room in Chapter 1. You can literally save at a save point, reload, and you'll be in the wrong room and literally skip an entire cutscene. So yeah, patch 1.09 is pretty broken, as it turns out. So here, let me show you a great example. Here, we'll go ahead and save this as a blah blah. Okay, let me go open Deltarune now and show you a fantastic example of what I mean. Because I think I have a save set up for Chapter 1. Let me just make sure I have this set up properly. Oh, no, I don't. Okay, I have to, give me a second, chat. I have to grab a Chapter 1 save file, which I should have on my desktop. I need the big door save. Okay. Let's put that into the Deltarune save files. Okay, wonderful. All right, chat. So let me show you guys what this means practically. So you all understand it now, I hope. I hope that explanation clears things up just a little bit. Let me go ahead and show you guys what this means. So, we're going to go into chapter 1 here, just to demonstrate this. So, here's this room. This room has a save point in it. This room is on the list. So, when I attempt to load into this room, it loads correctly. Right? Look at that. See? Loads correctly. Everything's good. However, if we just progress a little bit further here. Keep going. Just past these couple of encounters here. I don't actually have a good save file to show this, so I actually have to do this myself real quick. Past the top kick guy. Past this fruit in here. Okay. So this room here has a save point in it. This is the Maze of Death room. This room was accidentally not included in the list. So that means, because it's not a valid room, if I load into it after saving, guess where we end up? Here, one room forward. So remember that whole thing with Lancer here? You know, this whole cutscene that's supposed to happen? Yeah, not all of that, gone. Don't even have to do any of it. All right, here's another one. Here's the one I mentioned as my example. So right now I have just entered the basement for the very first time. I'm on a casual playthrough. I've entered the basement. The laser is still activated. Okay, we need to go get the laser unactivated. So let's go to the teacups. All right, we're gonna go get the laser unactivated so that we can progress. I'm a casual Deltarune player. Oh wow, guys, look at that. The exit is gone. Whoa! What was that? Whoa! Whoa! Anyway, I'm a casual player. What's going on? Wow, I'm taking these really cool-looking teacups. So we take these teacups down. Now, keep in mind, this is all in one room. Now, in a patch done to Deltarune, I want to say it was 1.06 that added this. It might be 1.07. Added a death checkpoint here. If you die to these teacups, it will reload you into this room so that you can try again immediately. So we turn off the switch. We go back. And now we're going to, you know, we're just playing Deltarune, you know. Oh, wow, this is so difficult. How am I supposed to dodge this, Toby? This is so hard. Did FDY design this game? Anyway, I died. Dang, that sucks. Oh. Well, that's crazy. How did I get here? So if you're playing on this patch and you die, you end up here. So if you're a casual player and you die to the teacups, you're here now. So here's the problem with this, and that's that the lasers are still activated. So if I go back, the lasers will still be on. Oh. Dang, looks like I'm stuck. Now, you can actually get out of this if you wrong warp, but you think a casual player is going to know how to do that? And you can go you can go get the disc. Or insert it, I guess, because that's the... Wait, what? Where is the save file? Okay, actually, wait. No, this is great. This will show the second thing I wanted to show. This save file was further along than I thought it was. So, you want to know another room that's not considered an invalid room? The room I was just in. You know, where you reload after you die to Neo? That's also not a valid room. So what happens if you die to spam to Neo in this patch? You know, the hardest boss in the game? I wonder what happens if you die to him. Let me get my ass kicked real quick, just to show you guys. You know, hardest boss in the game, kind of difficult. Let me just, piss him off real quick. Alright, there we go. The damage will be super buff next turn. There we go. I wish this boss killed you quicker. There we go. So where do I respawn now? Huh, I respawned here. This isn't the intended location. As a matter of fact, this is the room that appears after you beat him, by the way. This is the version of this room that appears only after you beat him. So if you go into this and then go out, and now look, it's back to normal. And now you can do a funny and enter the fight backwards. So now there's no audio, and now if I walk into this room, the music will play like it's supposed to, because you're supposed to load into this room after you die. So yeah. Now, of course, the Mac Daddy of all of this, as far as speedruns are concerned. I'm going to go fight the final boss, chat. Let's go fight the final boss. I'm a casual player, fighting this boss for the very first time. Let's say I'm under-equipped. Oh, this is a really cool cutscene. I wish I could read it. Smile. Snowgrave Spamton's room that he reloads you into is considered valid, yes. So no, there's no issues. I hope my explanation made sense, chat. Did it make sense? Did you guys all follow what I said about like all the list of valid rooms and why it's like a... Did it make sense to you guys? Okay. So this room is not a valid room. Now what you may not know is that Giga Queen actually has two versions of the room we were just in. The first version and the second version. The first version is for before you fight her, and the second version is for after. They are next to each other in room order, and the first version is not considered to be a valid loadable room. So when I load into the room after dying and selecting retire, I will be given a +1 because it's not a valid room. So, you know, let's do a pacifist queen fight. I really want to see her dialogue. Oh, dang, I didn't read it. Well, oh, how am I supposed to dodge this? Dang. Ah, she really got me. Oh, kicked me right in the head. And, you know, she's going to engage in a little bit of tomfoolery, just a little bit of bad manners. So we get to this screen with an absolutely absurd amount of choicer lag. All we have to do is select retire. And it loads us one room further than it should, and we beat Giga Queen, guys! We did it! Oh, and also, the robot's in the wrong spot, so you're gonna see here. They didn't actually draw individual head sprites for Queen, rather they drew individual eye sprites for her, which are fixed to a certain point on the screen, so you're gonna see right here that her visor loads in the wrong spot. Also, she is covering her head. She doesn't want to talk to you guys. Me no talk, me Engie. So anyway, everything plays out how you'd expect from here. That's not a blade, Birdly. So yeah, and now probably the worst offender of all of this. Well, actually, I think the worst offender is the teacups. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that's actually the worst thing. Like, that alone makes me like, this needs to go. This needs to get patched out, like, now, because people are gonna die to those teacups. We have one other thing, so let me get my Chapter 2 save files out. Let's go with third floor. Now, we are gonna have to sit through... We're gonna have to sit through the Swan ride together, Twitch chat. I hope you guys are ready for a romantic candlelight experience. Is this patch pulled? Nope, it is still on Steam right now as we speak. Shouldn't you be able to load your save? Yes, but you shouldn't have to do that. All right, so say you know, you really like the Swan and you want to go on it again. Let's just play through the game a little bit, chat. So we're just gonna plow through this. I don't have debug for this patch at the moment, and besides, I want to show you guys using completely normal gameplay functions anyway, just to show that this could very easily happen to a casual player. And that's why this patch needs to get fixed, like, yesterday. By the way, chat, I just want to say, please show respect to the developers of the game. Stuff like this happens in game making. It's a busy time for all of us, and it's a hard time for all of us, too. So, you know, make sure to show some kindness. Mistakes happen. I'm just making... I personally want it to be known, obviously, because I love this game, and I don't want casual players to experience very bad bugs. Even if they are very useful for speedrunning purposes. I obviously don't think this should stay around. So we just, you know, complete this all like normal. Yep, world record is already on 1.09. Someone's already got a 24. Oh, and Chapter 2 is shorter than Chapter 1 now because of this. Is this patch going to be legal after it gets fixed? I mean, it's an official patch of the game. We have no idea what we're going to do moving forward, honestly. So what I've done is that last night, before anybody got a chance to actually do any runs, on speedrun.com, you may notice that there is a thing that now says version, and it'll be not 1.09 and not 1.09. I did that so that we can sort through them later in case we do something like a leaderboard split or an alternate category or something like that. If something ever gets done, then we'll be able to easily find all the runs. Okay, so let's say Rules is giving us a really hard time in this patch. You know, just, you know, he's a hard boss, right? He's very difficult. I mean, I don't even know how you're supposed to avoid any of this. Very difficult boss. Oh my gosh. Jeez, the hitbox maybe they're just a little too generous, chat. Alright, there we go. So we died to Rules, and where do we end up? Here. So this is the room after the auto checkpoint that got set. You might be asking, wait a minute, Shay, what room is this? This is the dining room. The thing is that you are never, ever supposed to re-enter this room. Normally, it is locked off. And you can see why. The screen transitions aren't actually here. There's no reason for it to be here. This isn't a room you're ever supposed to access. So you leave this room, and now you're here. As you can see, you can't, you know, the room is closed to haters. This is a soft lock. You can't do anything. Now, here's the real danger of this. Here's why this is dangerous. Is that if you save like this, it's over. You're done. Your playthrough's gone. It's kaputs. What? Why can't I couldn't interact with it. Okay. All it takes is if I just click this button, it's done. This file is now unusable. It is soft locked because you can't progress. There's no way to get back to where you were because the dining room is locked off. The shortcut is still blocked off. That's it. Your playthrough's over. And obviously stuff like this needs to be fixed because this is really bad for casual players. All because you died to Rules. Where's Susie? She's not in your party at this point in the game. She's still with Birdley. Surprisingly, the game actually handles being alone with Ralsei very well for the most part. I didn't find any way to make the game like explode or anything like that. I think this file was actually beaten Neo, so yeah.